Yeah, what is an A player?
Today we're talking about the ideal team
Let's talk
player,
about
which is a
the
book of
player,
mine.
the magic of
I would define an A
players.
player as the top 10% of talent.
If you want to know how to break past whatever revenue level you're at right now, whether that's 50K, 100K, 500K, if you're even doing $1 million, the biggest unlock that you can use right now is a team. Once you've broken that 50K, that 100K, everything from there is people. Now, when we generated our first $1 million in revenue, it came at us pretty quick. We weren't expecting it. I immediately had this wave of concern, which was, how do I sustain this? How do I scale this? How do we keep doing this? And the solution that I had in the moment was, I need a team. I need to bring people on quickly. First thing I did is I jumped to YouTube and I literally searched how to build a team. And I scrolled to YouTube, and turns out you would think there would be tons and tons of really helpful videos on there. There are not. You could try it yourself. There are videos on there, but you watch them, they're fluffy, they're not helpful, they're for somebody in a specific industry. So that's why I'm putting together this video for anybody that wants to scale and wants to grow, and you know that you need a team or you need to fix your team. This is the video for you. And I'm passionate about it because I was so frustrated at the time that nobody else did it. So here we are. Okay, so here's the first piece. How do you know you're ready for a team? Now, I'm aware some of you are probably watching this and you have a team, and maybe some of you don't have a team yet, but you want a team. The question still stands of, are you ready for a team? And the reason I say this is because I literally had 12 people working for me, and I was still asking that question of, am I ready for a team? Turns out I wasn't, and I lost millions of dollars. When you first think that you need a team, this is usually when things get immensely busy, you are growing or scaling, which is great, or maybe you were growing and now you're declining because of how chaotic things are and how much work there is to do. Now, this is when you start thinking, I need a team. Now, if you're thinking that, you may have just made the first mistake. Now, here's what I mean. You cannot delegate chaos. What's interesting is most entrepreneurs hit absolute chaos in their business, and so they start thinking, hey, I need people to help make this better. The only person that can actually systematize your business is going to be an operations manager or an operations person or a COO, somebody incredibly gifted with systems. Now, to find that person that can step into a startup or a newer business that is growing rapidly like yours, that can immediately build all of the systems and not feel like they own your business or should be given a ton of equity, is almost impossible to find. I say almost because I know a very small handful of people that have done it. But most people say, oh, I need an operator. Oh, I need somebody to do this. And I promise you, it is nearly impossible to find. So that's not your solution. Now, this also means you cannot offload chaos to your team. So you cannot take your messy, growing business and assume that hiring people is going to solve that problem. It is not. I promise you, I did this. You will end up hiring, let's say 5 people, 4 of them will be completely useless to you, and the 5th will probably just quit because they have no idea what they're doing. That is what happens when you hire people into chaos. So how do you solve this? Okay, I'm gonna tell you how to solve it, but I have to jump slightly, so bear with me. There's such a thing called the queen bee role in a business. Queen bee, literally like a bee, the queen bee. This is a role in your business that you absolutely need in order for the business to be successful. Now, I know your first thought is every role in the company you need to be successful. That's not my point. The queen bee role was that sales manager role. Why? Because technically speaking, the marketing that I was doing, you could have that die down for a day or a week, dare I say a month. It would hurt, but it wouldn't crash the business. You could have some operations people go away for a week. Yes, systems would break, stuff would get chaotic, but the business would probably still make some revenue. But if the sales team stops working, immediately the business stops making money. Marketing can be great, operations can be great, administration can be great, creative can be great, but if sales stops, the business literally stops making money. And so that's why for that business, the sales role was the queen bee role. Your business has a queen bee role, you just haven't found it yet. Here's why I'm bringing this up. You have to define your business all the way down to how you actually make money. Sounds crazy, I know, but bear with me. For this real estate business that we were running, we knew that the business model was find properties available for sale, buy them for a certain amount of cents on the dollar, and then list them, and sell them. That's the business model. Now, way oversimplified, I understand, and there were a million different pieces to it of marketing and different strategies and subdividing land, doing all these different things. But at the end of the day, find properties, buy them, list them, sell them. That's the business model. Now, if that's the business model that makes money, you are scaling that, you're not scaling your other things. And so we're not scaling these different projects, these different avenues of making money, we are scaling that business model. And so in order to make that business model ready for a team, you have to simplify that business model down to a repeated process. Every single business is a repeated process. If it doesn't, it's gambling or it's a scam or it's crypto. So find the simple, repeatable system that your business has, no matter how complicated it may be, and begin to systematize and scale that process. For us, that was sales team makes call. Call buys deal. Deal gets listed with realtor. Realtor sells, close the deal. That's the system. And so as we'd scale things, we would scale the systems between those different points, and then we would begin to reach the limits of the people in those spaces, and then we'd begin to hire from there. We would not hire for these projects we hadn't tried yet, these marketing campaigns that we wanted to test, these sales tactics that we wanted to try out. We would never hire for that. You hire for the business model. You hire for the repeated process that you have created. So to simplify, you cannot scale chaos. You have to find a way of either removing chaos or simplifying, or focus entirely on the simple, repeatable process that your business has, and then hire for that. Don't hire for the chaos. Now this is huge. Build small, but build great. I promise you, you do not need a large headcount. If you hire people and you feel like you need more people, then the chances are you've hired the wrong people. Those people are just incompetent, and you just need to find great people. I know this because I scaled all the way up to 12 team members, and then realized I had made mistakes, scaled back down to 6, and ended up making more money with 6 team members than I did with 12 team members. You only need to hire more people when your great people are already maxed out. Then just hire more great people.
Okay, part 2 is who do you actually let in? Here's what I mean by that. Everybody will tell you, hire good people, hire people with good hearts, et cetera, and they'll even go as far as saying hire for good character. Now, before I get to the character piece, let me just say this. Hiring good people is great. Hiring people with good hearts is great. Hiring people that are happy, who are enjoyable to be around, hiring people that you enjoy being with are all great things and all things that I still push for. Hire people that you're happy being around. In fact, for me and my team, we would have this question that we would ask anybody before we hired them. We would ask ourselves this directly, nobody else. We would say, hey, would we go on a road trip with this person? And if we would not go on a road trip with this person, we would not hire them. The reason being is we're a team. We're going to do great things. We're going to push for really, really big numbers. We're going to push for things that most people haven't done before. But if we can't bear the thought of going on a road trip with somebody where you're tested, your relationship is tested, your friendship is tested, things get messy, then you are not going to be able to build a company with that person. So steal that if you want. Now, don't hire good people. Don't just hire people that are good. Don't just hire them because they're happy or they have a good heart. You have to go deeper than that. If I move over to the character piece, I completely agree with the point of hire people with good character. But here's why I'm bringing this up. Good character is the absolute bare minimum. Like, never hire somebody with bad character. Always shoot for really, really good character, but that is the floor. And just hiring for the floor is unfortunately not going to get you anywhere. You have to push for greater than that. So hiring just because they have good character or just because they have a nice personality is going to completely ruin you. So treat character as just a filter. If they have good character, great. Bad character, it's an instant no, no matter how good the person is. And once they've passed the character filter, then you have to ask, is this a competent person? You can get to resume, you can get to their skills, you can get to their qualifications and their education. That, put all that aside, are they competent in what they do? You would be amazed at how many people are highly educated, have tons and tons of experience, but are completely incompetent. And I'm trying to say that respectfully, and I don't really know how, but there are so many people that are so incredibly incompetent. people that have not learned to think for themselves, maybe even people that have sat in their job for such a long time, checked all the boxes and did well in their previous job, but then had everything handed to them. You need people that can think about growing the company almost as much as you do, or at least think about growing the department almost the same as you think about growing the company. You need builders, not just people that maintain a machine. All right, here's the next piece of this. You know how in dating, people say don't date for somebody's potential? Agreed. When it comes to building your team though, hire for potential. Let me explain. You are building something and you are growing yourself and you're learning and you know you have potential. That's why you're building this thing. Your team ideally should also have potential and should also be heading in a certain direction. If you meet somebody and they're already exceptional, they're pretty good, but they have no vision for growth and they have no potential ahead of them, this person is going to stay stagnant. So even if they're great, they will not grow with your company. So you have to ask yourself the question when you're talking with somebody, does this person have potential for growth? And an even better question to ask is, do they see their potential for growth? Do they see where they are going? And do they have the hunger to actually push for them? If they are, that's a golden person. If they don't, that is going to be a really good hire for about 6 months. And then the company is going to move past them and you'll have to let them go, or they'll just quit because they feel misaligned. Final piece here, and this is like a crazy life hack that I wish somebody told me to do when I started. Give somebody a trial period. Give them a period of time, whether it be a week or month or 3 months, whatever it is. Give them a period of time and give them a project for them to accomplish in that trial period. Now, the first reaction most people have is, oh, but you're making them work for free, or that's super awkward because they're not really fully a part of the team. All valid reasons. 1, you can pay them. 2, you can give them an actual project that's actually beneficial to the company for that time period. It's essentially a probation period, but you can call it probation period or trial period. Point is give them a period and say, you're gonna work until this certain date, and on this certain date, we're gonna reevaluate. And if it doesn't work, we're gonna part ways, and we can part ways as friends. And you can also decide if you wanna join the team or not. It gives them a sense of peace in joining the team, and it gives you a really, really clean out in case you don't wanna work with this person. The reason this is so huge is pretty obvious. You're gonna see this person working, you gotta put them under pressure, you're gonna give them a tough task, give them something to accomplish, and a tip that I learned from this tip is give them as much room as you can to show off. What do I mean by that? As you're building this company, you need ambition, you need builders, you need people that can think strategically, and so put this person in a situation where maybe the first checkpoint is here, but make sure there's about this much room to actually accomplish the project. In other words, make sure there's an extra mile at the end of the goal, and make that extra mile available, but don't tell them they have to do it. And wait to see what they do, wait to see what they accomplish. If somebody finishes a project and says, here, I finished it and I also did this, or I finished it and I also kind of wanted to do this direction as well, and so I made this version as well, or hey, I accomplished this and can I suggest another idea that I go and attack? That is the person you want to hire. You don't want to hire the person that had questions all along the way, just barely accomplished your project, and then said, I need help with X, Y, and Z. Although none of those questions are inherently wrong for the person, you need a builder and not just a maintainer. These trial periods, I have run more trial periods and said goodbye to people afterwards than I have hired people. That means that these trial periods are so successful that they've saved me millions and millions of dollars in getting somebody in and out within 1 or 2 weeks, sometimes a month, and saved me and them a ginormous headache. It sounds unfair. You're also saving them months and months and months learning and getting so-called good at a job that they're not going to be at here very long. So you're doing both of you a great service. Final section. You don't get the team that you want, you get the team that you tolerate. So if you don't have a team right now, get a piece of paper and write down everything that you would want from your team. Get as selfish as you want to be. Get all the way down into the details. What do I want this team to be like? What do I want the culture to be like? How do I want them to treat each other? What do I want each person to be like? And get picky. Having a clear vision for your team that you can actually share with them is step 1 from communicating clearly and setting the standard clearly. You cannot correct somebody on a standard that you have not set yet. So set the standard from day 1. Which brings me to the next part, which is hire slow, fire fast. You've probably heard of this before, and I heard it a ton when I started. I hired good people onto my team. They were skilled, they were talented, they were great. I liked them as people. However, unfortunately, they brought in an unhealthy culture that was not the vision for the team. I kept this person for far too long on the team when I should have let them go far sooner. Now, this is not the only time this has happened. This has happened multiple times with multiple people on my team, and unfortunately it took me a really long time to learn. I would far prefer to let somebody go and go get another good person rather than keep the one person on my team and risk sinking the entire company, which not only puts me out of business, but puts the rest of my good team out of business as well. Final piece, don't change yourself for your team. Sounds wrong, I know. Grow, mature, get better, and learn. I agree with all those things. Do not change yourself, your personality, your values, the culture that you want to adapt to a team just to make them feel better. Your team is not your friends, they are not your family. You do have to treat them differently. And you'll become like the people you're around if you're not careful. So do not change yourself just for the sake of your team, but change yourself to fit the vision of where you're headed.
Okay, that's all 3 sections done and a million different points in each section. The reason I wanted to make this video for all of you is because I realize now that hiring, firing, leading your team and building a team is one of the highest leverage areas that you have to grow in and have to invest in because of the difference that it makes in your business. It will change the trajectory of your business, of your wealth, of you accomplishing your vision. It's the team that you have. While you're great on your own, you're only going to be better once you not only have a team, but you learn how to empower other people towards a vision. So learn how to do that. Now I know this video was like the smallest glimpse of that entire process. So I don't want to bore you, but if you'd like to see more videos specifically in hiring, leading a team, building a team, etc., let me know down in the comments. I will be more than happy to talk more about the topic and we'll put together more videos for you. If not, let me know any other ideas that you have in the comments of what you would like to see more of.